Hello there, this is a Retro Spiritus Gaiden with Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super NES, or Cho Makaimura on the Super Famicom, as this is that version. This is the Capcom logo plus audio sting, and here is part of the intro for the game. We have a fireworks display at a tiny castle. We enter the tiny castle and it becomes TARDIS-like. And there's a lady waiting for you. She has beautiful blue hair. And there's some trees. We cut to the forest. And there's the castle. Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. Oh, shit. No way. It's going to get electrocuted. Oh, there's demons in the foreground. Looking creepy. They're looking through your window. Cho Makaimura. Beautiful. Let's have a look at the options. We have everything in order there. Just 2 buttons to use in the game. We've got stereo music. Oh, here's the proper intro. Arthur and his lady just staring at each other. Just staring each other out. They don't blink. Ooh, we got closer. Things are getting hot. Hot in the castle tonight. Nothing's happened. They're just still staring at each other. Intently. Seeing who blinks first. Oh no, someone smashed the window. He's only gone and kidnapped my bloody lady. I'm gonna go and have to stick some lances in his face, says Arthur in a voiceover which I've imagined. Here's the map. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is a SNES, or was a SNES exclusive version of Ghouls and Ghosts. It had new features, including, as you saw there, a double jump. Now, when I bought this back in the day, I bought this on release when I had a Super Famicom, when they first came out. Long boring story, but anyway, I couldn't get past that first column there because I had no concept of a double jump. Press and jump whilst you're in the air. You've already pressed jump. You press it again and you get another jump. That's just physics defying. So I spent the first 20 minutes going, I don't know what to do here, I can't get past this freaking column. And then I suppose I accidentally pressed jump a second time in midair. And the rest is history. At that point, I could get through the whole game, and I think I did complete this. Back in the day, there's a guy in gold armour at the end. He fires lasers from his face, from what I remember. The visuals on this game are kind of nice. The audio is kind of okay. It's using that weird Capcom sound library. It does sound okay in this game, sort of an orchestral type soundtrack. Kind of gets away with it. It sounds a bit scratchy though. If you compare this to, say, Konami's Castlevania sound library, it doesn't really stand up. So this is a hard game. It is a hard game. We have 4 or 5 levels of cool content, I would say, like enjoyable and differentiated gaming experience. Then we have 2 levels at the end which use the same tile sets and are incredibly boring to look at. And we have some classic bosses. The overall gameplay speed of this is pretty damn slow. I am comparing this to the predecessor game, which is Ghouls and Ghosts on the arcade and Mega Drive, and it's a much nippier game in terms of just game speed. This one feels sluggish. Super Ghouls and Ghosts also has very long levels, as you can see here. I'm not even halfway through the level yet, and I've been going for, I don't know, a couple of minutes already. And I guess it's built for the home, whereas the arcade version of Ghouls and Ghosts was built for the arcade, so shorter levels, snappier action, more stuff going on. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is sort of like slower action, less stuff going on, longer levels. So it does feel a bit different. I prefer the snappier action of Ghouls and Ghosts, I will say that. That doesn't make Super Ghouls and Ghosts a bad game, it just makes it not my favourite. I mean, Ghouls and Ghosts all the way for me. Buster, especially the arcade version. Ooh, love that. The Mega Drive version is good. I would say audio visually Well, visually, the Mega Drive game probably does lack behind this, but do you know what? I think I prefer the audio of the Mega Drive. Oh, that's crazy, isn't it? Considering the SNES had that sound chip in it that everybody was excited about. You've got all the hidden treasure chests in this that you could possibly want to find. You have some interesting physics-based enemies. You have terrain that deforms, which that's always quite a fun thing. Yeah, it's got some cool stuff in this. It slows down quite a lot. Doesn't flicker as much as I remember it flickering, but then I might have the Super NT's sprite tile limit increased. The bosses are quite big in this. It's generally a tidy game. And I was very happy to own this when I had my Super Famicom back in 1991. I was quite impressed once I managed to get past that first frickin', I don't know what it is, like block of rock in my double jump. The only thing that I think lets this game down is the second half of level 2. If you die in the second half of level 2, it's just painful playing through the whole thing again. It's because there's no checkpoints. The checkpointing is terrible in this game because the levels are massive. Obviously, I've missed a treasure chest there. The arcade version of Ghouls and Ghosts, the levels weren't as big, so it only had a checkpoint halfway through. This one, however, this game here, the levels are about 4 times the size of the previous game. They still only have 2 checkpoints, and it can get boring replaying the same things over and over again on losing a life. That's my major criticism. I like this tune, but again, it's a bit scratchy, a bit noisy. I mean, like, you know, like fuzzy maybe is the word I should have used. Nice, you know, nice tune. Just the sound library isn't up to it. I'm banging into my underpants again. Let's see if I can negotiate swinging axes. All this stuff's cool. I like all this stuff with the boat sinking into the sea and the water level rising. That's all great. That's fine. And oof, I was nervous there for a second. I thought I was going to jump off the end of that mast. All that's cool. It's got a lot of imagination in this game. I like it. Visually, I think the third level, the first half of the third level is probably my favourite part of the game, although I do like the ice caves as well, at the beginning of the 5th level. That's my 2 visual highlights, plus the final boss is immense. So that's cool. Gameplay-wise, I think the third level is my favourite gameplay-wise. The 4th level has an interesting kind of Mode 7 rotator-thon thing going on, which is clever but not necessarily super fun. This second half of this level, like I say, thematically it's cool and it does some interesting things with scrolling. It just goes on too long. It's just boring. Oh dear, I've missed the raft. The boss at the end of level 2 is actually okay, don't mind that. Let's just get into it. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, yeah. So, this isn't the copy I owned from back in the day. I rebought this again at some point. I think I had the PAL copy at some point, and the PAL copy was even slower than this from memory. This is the Japanese version running at full Super Ghouls and Ghosts speed. I think I paid 25 quid for this. That was in Japan though. It was like 5,000 yen or something second hand, which worked out at about 25 quid. So I was lucky enough to pick this up when I went on holiday many years ago. I don't think it's that much more than that now in Japan. I think if you want a PAL copy or an American copy, you're going to pay, especially if it's boxed and kind of minty, 50 to 70 quid. Possibly even more for the PAL one. PAL ones seem to be super expensive for some reason, even though they've got like crappy borders and you know, like 17% slower, that sort of thing. Like I say, thematically I like this part. This part's groovy. I like the enemies, I like the The wave action, the queasy waves, oh, it's groovy. It just goes on for too long if you die. Thankfully, there's not a lot of enemies to bash you around, but there are some awkward jumps over this pink spiky stuff. Right, I'm going to clear off now. That's Super Ghouls and Ghosts. It's cool. I do recommend it. I like it. I like it a lot. I play through level 3, and I get some way into level 4. I haven't played this game for a long time, so I'm completely out of practice. And I pick up some awkward weapons on level 4, which make my job of completing level 4 an absolute chuffing nightmare. That's the other thing about this game. The weapons are irritating as they are in Ghouls and Ghosts, and you often get stuck with something like the Grim Reaper Scythe thing, which is shite. You've got 3 levels of armour. I haven't mentioned that, but you can get gold armour, and that gives you like magic. There we go, magic. I've now got magic, and for this weapon, the magic reveals hidden treasure chests, which is handy, but not necessarily exciting. I'm just trying to remember what the other ones give you. I think the knives give you... Knives give you a dragon? A segmented dragon that flies around? Wow, it's so long since I've played this game and used the magic. The lancers give you lightning, I think. Do you know what? I don't pick up the other weapons at all, really, in this game, so I couldn't even tell you what their magic is. I'd probably have to look to the instruction book to find out what the magic of the other weapons is. Yeah, that's embarrassing, isn't it? So I started, talking the big talk there. I started Billy Big Biscuit in here, going, oh yeah, I'll tell you about the magic. I'll tell you about magic, son. And then what happened was I ran out of words because they weren't in my head. And I made myself look right stupid. I looked like a right melt. You, sir, you're a toilet! This guy's got a problematic drill beard. Ooh, that was jammy. He's, the bottom of his face is all spinny. No wonder he's so bloody angry. If you had a spinning bottom half of your face on a daily basis, you'd be absolutely peed off. Oof. Right, here's my favourite, two favourite parts of the whole game. First off, on level 3. Why do I like it? I like the atmosphere. I like the music. I like the big wolfy things. I like the lava stuff. Oh, it's cool. The second half of this level takes place on towers. They're okay, but they're not as good as the ones in Nebulous on the Commodore 64. Don't animate it smoothly, but got exactly the same thing going on. Yeah, Commodore 64 rules. I never owned Commodore 64, I don't know. Unfortunately, I had an Amstrad CPC back then. The Amstrad CPC 464 did not rule. Can tell you that much. Right, I'm finally going to go. I'll stop bothering your ears with my nonsense, and I'll see you in your dreams. That's a bit threatening, I don't want to say that. I won't see you in your dreams, I'll see you next time for a different game that isn't Ghouls and Ghosts. Ta-ra!